Hello, I'm Dr. Lisa Belisle, and you are listening to or watching our video podcast, Radio Maine, in which we connect with fascinating people who have stories about creativity and the human spirit. We are sponsored by the Portland Art Gallery in Portland, Maine, and today it is my great pleasure to speak with Adele Ngoy. She is the founder and president of Women United Around the World, and also owner of Antoine's Tailor shop in Portland, Maine, and also she is a teacher and instructor of sewing, which is very exciting. So
Yes.
I'm excited to talk to you today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with you, Lisa.
I know you've had a lot of people interested in the work that you're doing in Portland. You've touched a lot of different people's lives since you've been here. You came here in the year 2000?
Yes, I arrived here in the year 2000, July 2000.
And what was the connection to Portland?
Portland, I didn't know Portland. I never know. From back home, I never hear about Maine. But before I came as a refugee. And then as a refugee, when you leave your country, you have to go stay to a different country from your country of birth. And then I went to Cameroon with the help of, I forget the organization name, but we stayed there, HRS. I forget the name of the organization. We stay at the refugee camp in Cameroon for 8 months. And while you are there, you go through different interviews. They have to know you before they bring you to America. And they have to know your skill, they have to know your background and your favorite place to live and all those questions. Through that process, I asked them, I came with 3 young children. They were so young, I was scared to come to America by myself, single mother with 3 kids. And I say, I would like to go live in a small place, small city, where there's no crime, it's quiet, a safe place to raise kids. They'll try to convince me to go to Chicago or New York because they found already a job for me there as a fashion designer. And I was so scared. I said, I don't want to go to a big city. I chose to find for me a small city where I can raise my kid. They chose Portland, Maine for me. And since then, I don't regret to be in Portland.
How old were your children when you were leaving your country? And you came from originally the country you came
Republic
from?
Democratic of Congo. My oldest was 6, my second one was 4, and my youngest, my boy, who was the day we arrived, the next day was his birthday too. It was 2.
So you had young children when you left where you were originally from, and you stayed in Cameroon for 8 months.
Yeah.
With these young children, and then you brought them all the way to Portland, Maine.
I don't even know. I can't imagine how we did that because it was so stressed, so scary, and so because you don't know where you're going, you don't know what can happen, and the kid was so frustrated. They were telling me, it's your fault, why we are here. They don't understand. They keep telling me we have to go back home, and the condition they live in, why we have to live in this condition, why don't we go home? Where is our... asking those random questions, where's our driver, where's this, where's the... I say, you just be patient, we're going somewhere. It's just because of the ethnic war in the country, we had to leave. And it was very challenging. And arriving here with lack of the language, I didn't know any word in English. I speak only French and other dialect from my country. And the kids also, when we arrived, they are so frustrated because they couldn't express themselves. They go to school, they start crying. They say, we don't want to stay here. We want to go back home. Why? They thought it was my fault. I did that. They didn't understand until later on.
I think about that. My children are also older now. Mm-hmm. And just having 3 young children all at the same time, and you were a single parent.
Single parents.
Raising them.
Yeah.
And just start with that is so challenging. But then to have to uproot everybody, your children, yourself,
yes,
and come to a completely different place.
Yes.
I mean, the level of strength you must have had to be able to do that.
I don't know how I did that. Like I said before, I think it's just by the grace of God. I was just praying every day. In some point, a year later, I went back to immigration office with my 3 kids. I told them, I want to go back. Can you please send me back my country because I can't take this anymore. It was so hard, it's so challenging. I say, I can't take this. I have to go back. Luckily, I wish I can meet that lady one more time. The lady, the immigration officer, she left the desk, come and give me a big hug. And she say, do this for your kid, not for you. Think about this kid and you're going to do it. You can do it. I was crying, sobbing, and left there. I was like, okay, now I need to try to make a decision of this. I have just to be taking care of the kid, forget about Adele, forget about fashion design, about all this big dream, just be a mother taking care of the kid. I left there and then I continued. I found a job. I was working as a seamstress somewhere. Yeah, and then just do the routine, bring them to school. But I always wanted the best for my kid because I think I got the best education back from home. And for me, it was just the best education for my kid. From elementary school, I put them in private school. I was working to pay school for them. I didn't have nothing else, just all the money is just food, pay rent, pay school for the kid. They all went to Cathedral before they closed. And my oldest went to Macaulay. For Macaulay, she got a scholarship. It was this generous woman who paid school for her for 4 years in Macaulay because she had a good grade, and then she was paying school for her. And my second daughter went to Walnut Hill. It's a private school, performance art school. And my son went to Chevresse. Because my dream was just to give them the best I could. And I was doing that every day, knowing I don't know what's going to happen, but just walking by every day. But I was lucky to meet so many people of men. Men people, they are good people, very good people. I had a lot of support from a friend I met through school for kids, through work. I had so many good friends, very supportive.
It seems like your children would end up needing to be pretty independent and also strong themselves, because it sounds like you probably had to work a lot of hours in order to pay for private schools.
Yeah.
And you're all coming in, learning a lot of things all at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as a result of them having to work through challenges, learning a new language, being in a new place, do you think that has impacted them now that they are adults?
Yes, definitely. Impact their life now even more. Now being adult, impact them very much. Because they went through, I feel like they didn't grow up like a regular kid in America. Their life was more challenging. It impacted them in the life today. They're doing good for themselves, but they still have a lot of, they used to ask themselves a lot of questions because they didn't understand why the situation they've been through. It's really impact them, and it's still challenging for them to find themselves. They're still looking for themselves until now. It's very challenging.
I can understand that would be hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard. But I always take the positive side of everything. I know it was a lot of challenging, a lot of negative, but I'm so thankful. They got good education and they're in a safe place. That I'm thankful for that.
Why did you originally go into fashion design?
When I was young, I didn't want to do fashion design. I was like, I want to be a doctor. Until I was a teenager, my head, I'd say, I'm going to be a doctor. And then my dad, he passed away years ago. He was an artist painter. As an artist, I don't know what he saw in me. He pushed me to go to fashion school. And for me, that time, I was like, I'm too smart to go to a fashion school. I thought if you go to fashion school, you have to make stuff with your hand. You don't have to be thinking too much. You are not smart. And I was so upset. I didn't like it in the beginning. And then he played with my mind. He said, okay, you just go to this school this year, and then next year, we're going to try to register you to a different school. Because back home, you start your option, whatever you're going to do in life, in high school. Yeah, and that's how I went to fashion school. That first year, the first month, I didn't talk to anybody in the class, even though the teacher I didn't want to deal with any because I didn't like it. I feel like this is too bad for me. I don't want to be here. But every day I go home and encourage me, it's going to be fine. Just try. And then after a while, as a student in the class, I have just to do what they ask me to do. And slowly I start feeling like I like it. And everything we're doing, I was doing that. I was the best. I was doing that better than everybody sometimes. And that I started. I did my first year. At the end of the year, I start making stuff. Everything they taught us in the class to do, I duplicate them at home. And then that's how I end up do that. And then I love it so much until I finished high school and I went to college for fashion design. And I love it. I don't regret. I thank Dad. Thank to my father who knew, I don't know, he maybe as a parent, parents sometimes, they know us better than ourselves. Yeah, I think he sees something in me which I didn't know myself.
As you're coming to Maine with this background in fashion design, where they offered, you could have gone to Chicago or New York, and I know New York is known to be a fashion center.
Fashion center, yeah. Yeah.
How did you feel about bringing your fashion design background to a place like Portland, Maine, which isn't known to be a fashion design center?
That was my big challenge because I have this, in America, I didn't know everywhere is the same. People have to dress up. But I come to realize, man, it's very laid back. It's low-key. Dressing is not really the priority. And that for many years, I have to observe. I have to try to find my ways, what to do. I opened a shop. I was working first somewhere as a seamstress, and then I was tired of that. I could do better. And then I opened a small shop on Brighton Avenue I started designing things. But I realized it's not the culture in Maine. It was challenging. And then a few years later, I have to close. And sometimes even I'll tell people, I make this fleece jacket because I try to create something to adapt for the climate for men. I come up with this idea to make the fleece jacket very fashionable. And then I'll be wearing them somewhere and then everybody love them. We love your jacket. And I'll say, I made it. They look at me like I'm crazy. They don't get it because how come you can make this? They don't understand it. So, and I stayed for that store, with that store for a little bit while, and then the recession came. The country, everything was, the economy was bad. I have to close. I went back to my previous job. This time I went back as a manager for the Department of Alteration. And that was good for me. I went there and I said, I'm going to be here just for a few years because in my head, I would like to have something for myself. And that's how I was there for 5 years as a manager. I learned a lot. I learned now a lot. Even when I had my store, people used to make comments, say, she does a very good service. You want anything to be made is perfect, but customer service, she doesn't know much about that. Of course, I didn't know how to manage customer service in America. And that was a very good thing for me to go back as a manager for those 5 years. It helped me a lot to know how to do customer service and to deal with how to manage staff, how to manage people you work with, and to understand better the American culture, women especially working with a wedding gown. It was a bridal shop. Big bridal shop, and I learned a lot. That was a very good thing for me to go back there as a manager. It prepared me to become who I am today.
So you now are the founder and president of Women United Around the World, and you own Antoine's Tailor shop. Tell me about each of those different roles.
When I left the place I was working, and then that time, there are pieces I forget. When I came here, I came myself with my kids. But the fear to be myself, and I was married with my ex-husband back home. But when I arrive here, I say, I can't raise this kid by myself. He has to come. And I didn't see myself married another guy with young kid. I was so scared. And then we had problem back home, and I work hard and make him come. He's the father of my kid. He came. So I needed help for the kid. When he arrived here, I didn't work with him. Few years later, we get divorced. And I'll stay myself like 10 years. And then after 10 years, I got remarried with an American guy, my husband, my actual husband. So, and that time when I left David Brother, I bought the store on Congress Street to Antoine Tailor shop. That store been there like more than 40 years. It been there forever. And then the owner was retiring. And then he was looking for somebody to buy the store. And then they contacted me. I was just a perfect fit for me. I bought that store. And it was just a tailoring shop. And they're doing some tuxedo rental. And I changed it. I still keep the name. I prefer to keep the name for this long so people get familiar with me and they know it's not gone, it's still there. And now I'm ready. I'm changing the name soon. It's going to be Adele and Antoine, but I'm working on to change the name. And I turn it to become a different. I still do alteration. I still do tuxedo rental, but I sell more. I sell suit from, I import suit from Europe. Slim cut or European style shoes and suit for men. Some pieces for women, but mostly I do for men. And I do a lot of wearing alteration. And I do some design for people who want to. That for my business now, that's what I do. So the organization Women United Around the World, also when I arrived here, I was just observing and where I was working at the place I used to work, we had problem to find good seamstresses. Everybody gonna come, they say they know how to sew, but it wasn't that profession sewing. And they was keep bothering me in my heart, and I was like, I need to do something. Also, back home, I was more involved a lot with women activity, and we celebrate a lot Women International Day. It's a big thing in Congo. That's how, after a few years being here, I was like, everybody, when it's March 8th, my friends all over the world, they're going to call me, are you doing something? I say, no, there's nothing here. They don't celebrate that event here. And one day I decide to celebrate International Women's Day. I come with idea to have international fashion show. I'll present a few pieces for my collection and invite all the women coming from different parts of the world to present their traditional outfit so people can know our tradition, where we come. And again, in my head, I know women, all the women from no matter where you come from, we are all connected in fashion. All the women love fashion. And then I organized that first year fashion show, International Fashion Show, to celebrate International Women's Day. It was kind of successful. I had 100 people show up in this room I rent, and it was so much fun, and people love it. And from there, after that, a lot of women come to me. They want to help me. They want to look and do something from this. And that's how we create a Women United Around the World. And through the organization, we start giving, helping immigrants to come for integration, connecting them with local women, and then start teaching them sewing. That's how I start doing the sewing through the organization. And I did the sewing since I opened the organization started 2010, but the sewing class started 2012. I did that from 2012 until 2018. And then after COVID, I closed. I couldn't do it. And I was doing all this for free. I didn't know I can get help. I have no idea. I just get, because we're starting having the event, the celebration of International Women's Day every year. We're going to do this. Now it become a little bit bigger. We have more than 500 show up to the event. And now we do that at Italian Heritage Center. Around the month of March. And then the money we get there, the money I'm going to use I bought the sewing machine, I got the staff to teach, and I never get paid for it all these years. I just do it and train women. And I had a great experience with our classes, and as there is a need in the community for that. I have so many women today, they're working as seamstresses, it become their career from the training they got. I even have a lady who came, She's from my country. She was a lawyer back home. But when she came here, she can't practice. Lack of language, and she's not allowed to practice with a diploma. She came to me, take my training. Today, she's a professional seamstress. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. And now, after COVID, this year was the first year we went back because at some point I get so kind of discouraged and tired of it. I say, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's hard because it's something in my heart. It's just dear in my heart. I couldn't give up on it. I'll come back to it. Now, this year we did another event. It was very, very successful also. And then, and now we are starting again the school.
How many students do you have starting up this year?
So far, I have 16 students registered so far. But I'm trying to go slowly. And now I know I'm writing grants so I can get if I get the more found, I'll get more students because I'll have more trainer. So we can expand the class and it can be available for anyone who are interested.
How long does this take to get the type of training that you're offering?
The training I'm offering is going to take 9 months. It's going to take you are the beginner. You can come even though you never touch a machine. You can come see us. We start from teaching you the different part of the machine, how to thread the sewing machine. And then we're going to go through all those different stitches, different seams, all the technical of sewing. We're going to focus more on sewing, not too much on design. Little bit design and advanced class, but mostly the beginning is going to be just the technique of sewing. We have, like I said, 9 months, 3 months for beginner, 3 months for intermediate, and 3 months for advanced.
Is there a lot of need for people to learn how to sew? Are there a lot of jobs for people who are seamstresses or tailors right now?
I think there is a need because if I speak to around me people in Maine, most of the people say my grandma used to sew. My mom used to make our clothes. Now there's no any mom who make clothes. And there's job, and I think because of lack of worker in that field, no business people, there are no interest to that because they don't have worker. As they have, if they know they can find worker, professional worker, I think there will be more job. And right now there's job. There's job in, I have students who work at Seabag. I have some students who work at Sugar. She's in Bedford. She does a beautiful gown. Some of my students work there. And there is a lot of, I did some research, there is job. Some, they can work at LL Bean. And it's just there is no many who are trained. There's no many who do that. And also in my head, now fashion become very challenging because everything we're wearing, it's like a one use. You wear one time and then it's not good anymore because everything coming from overseas. And if we train more people and bring back the business back in the United States, I think we can do better. We need to be, I'm thinking just bigger and see that we can train more people so we can start making our own clothes like people used to do years ago.
One of the things that I think as you're talking about this, that comes to me is that we have ended up making people fit into clothes that maybe don't flatter them because they have to be very specific sizes and they have to look a very specific way. But if we were able to offer options because they're more personalized to the individual, then that could be really, that could end up being really important. It could really contribute to people's confidence.
Yes, exactly. That's a good point. I've seen that with a lot of women. I design stuff for them, especially a lot of Americans. They don't have experience of custom design. And it fits you like a glove because it's customized for you. There is no you don't need alteration after it's made for you. But whatever we buy from the store, they are standard measurement made. They are just for... we all have different body. We need to be, And a woman who wears something is customized for her, it gives a lot of confidence. I've seen that a lot. They are so happy because, first of all, they choose the fabric they want, and they choose the design they want, what always they have in their mind, I would love to have this. And it makes them very confident, and they feel confident and self-esteem.
In your current business, it sounds like you're focusing more on weddings and wedding dresses. If you had the opportunity to get back into design work that really was important to you, what would that look like? What do you like to design?
I like to design special occasion, like a one-on-one, like a mother of the bride dress, mother of the groom, design dresses for different special occasion. I love that. And I would love to do again like my collection of fleece jacket. I would love to reproduce that as a kind of production. And that's where if I train more people, I'll hire them myself so they can work for me. And I would love to do that. It's so exciting. Yeah, and I love to design, to do personal design for one-on-one for people. It's so nice to see just a fabric from nowhere and somebody who never have the experience, all that process. I have so many customers so happy, and they make them feel good and feel beautiful.
So it sounds like if you can get people who are qualified to do the sewing, then you could bring your business.
I can bring my business in different level too.
Do you ever return back to the Congo?
That's a good question. I returned back after 23 years. It was just a couple of years. I went there with my husband. It was very emotional. I was happy to be back. It was a crying every day, everywhere, seeing my people I left there, the life they have now, and the country where it is, because I left because of ethnic war. Since then, and the war still continues somehow, some part of the country. The country is not doing very well in its best, is not in a good condition, and people have not very good life. I was happy to see the people, but I was sad to see that, and to see the life we have here and over there. I was like, this is not fair for them. And I can say here, I'm thankful to be in America. And in America, we take everything sometimes for granted because we don't know. We don't have no idea what other people are going through. If people can just think and then see the condition other people live, I don't think we're going to be wasting what we're wasting. We're not going to be complaining. We complain, all those stuff. I think we'll do better, and we appreciate better what we have here.
Do you think that people might come to the United States after talking to you?
Back home, everybody want to live. Everywhere in the world, I think everybody envy American life. Everywhere in the world, that's why you see this inflation of a lot of immigrants, because everybody want to come here because of the lifestyle we have here and the safety. We are safe, and we have good life in America. It's hard for us. We think it's hard, but no, we have a good life in America compared to other places in the world. Yeah, we are blessed in America. Yeah.
If you were to talk to someone who was like yourself, who was newly to the United States, and they were asking your advice about the things that they could do to be as happy as possible, what would be your advice? What would be your words to them?
If somebody is new here, I'll tell them to be patient with themselves. Don't feel guilty for anything you feel, because sometimes people, and they don't compare your previous life and the life here. Just walk through. First of all, if you are like me, learn English. That's the key. Go to school, learn English. And then, I used to say myself when I arrived, I'm a Christian. I used to say, whatever God did a difference where I were before, it's going to still make the difference everywhere I go. That was my belief. And I believe inside me somehow one day I'm going to have okay life compared from the beginning. And I'll tell people, just be patient, learn English, you'll be okay. You're going to make it. You'll be okay. It takes time. You have to be patient. You have, I encourage them to be, have good friends. If you surround yourself with good friends, especially don't stay just on your community, your only community, create a new community. Create your own community with American friends through school, through work, and then it's going to help you to grow and you're going to make it.
That's very good advice. Well, yeah. Adele, I appreciate your coming in today.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you. It's a pleasure and honor for you to have me.
Oh, I think the honor is all mine.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Lisa Belisle, and you have been listening to or watching our video podcast, Radio Maine, where we celebrate creativity and the human spirit. Today we've been speaking with Adele Ngoy. She is the founder and president of Women United Around the World and also the owner of Antoine's Tailor shop. And I suspect that you are going to see much more from Adele with her fashion design. And I really wish you all the best in the next level of your business.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much.
Thank you.